G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Saturday, the 11th of March 2023, and the time here is exactly 19:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. All right, folks, I'm back. Let's go through everything and I'll tell you why. Here is my sponsor, Totally Rawsome, who make, for me, what is something best stuff you ever buy is golden activated turmeric paste. They also make other products, folks. Happy Healing Silica, which my wife absolutely raves about. They even make stuff for your dogs. If you haven't tried their stuff, you're missing out because it is really, really good, folks. Here's where you can contact them. 0433 165 848 or info@totallyrawsome.com.au. And like I said, if you don't try this stuff, you'll never know how good it is. It works. I swear to God it works. My knees have blessed me since I started using it, folks. Okay, so where have I been and what have I been up to? Like everybody else, look, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I'm the best bloke on YouTube or a mile or whatever, Rumble or whoever you're using. I'm not. And it became so bad that I put it this way: if you're sending me emails on Gmail, forget it. I don't use it. It's gotten so bad that I have to use a code that they gave me to use my email accounts. All my chats, all my groups, everything has been deleted, gone. No longer exists. So all those people that were in my chat groups and everything else, it's all gone. I don't know where it went. It's disappeared. I can only use Google now, Google Mail, unless the only way I can use Google Mail is to access via their code that they give me. Straight up. Think I'm crazy? Come around to my place and I'll show you. You wouldn't believe it. I can't put my own password in it. It just won't happen. It was becoming increasingly difficult to do that stuff, you know. I just got sick of it. It takes a lot of time. My computer was absolutely smashed. And when I mean smashed, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with it. Can't use it. It's unusable, sorry. So I've actually got a new one now, which is this one, thank God. And touch wood, things are going okay at the moment. Here's what I know after doing all this. 1 second. Sorry about that. I forgot to put the power cable in. Here's what I know. There is no security that you can get for your computer for stopping people. I had everything, and I mean lock, stock, and barrel on the other computer. I was using that thing where you travel around the world and go to different sites, and they tracked me down. I just gave up. I just simply gave up. It was too hard. Ruined my computer. That's about 8 computers now that I've lost doing this stuff. 8. That adds up to about $8,000, by the way, if you think about it. It's probably more than that. 2 were given to me, so that I didn't buy them. So let's say $6,000, $7,000. I've lost $7,000 in computers from doing this shit. Not shit, but doing what I'm doing. Just for standing up and speaking out. That's a lot of money, folks. And I honestly had to think twice about whether I was going to do it. For everyone who was commenting on my last video, which was 9 months ago, 10 months ago, thank you. I am okay. They didn't kill me. I'm not dead. I've had COVID 4 times. 4. Still haven't had the shot. What else can I say? I've had COVID 4 times. It's like getting the flu. I think it's going to be perennial. Whether it mutates into another one, who knows? But one thing I've noticed, and I've been pretty discretionary in what I'm viewing on YouTube, Rumble, whatever. So here's what I've narrowed it down, and here's what I know. You heard of the saying, wash, rinse, repeat. Well, that is what a lot of this stuff is. So I've stopped watching a lot of this stuff that's wash, rinse, repeat. And I'm probably guilty of it myself, getting caught in that washing machine cycle of, oh my God, the Chinese are going to invade, and, all that sort of crap. So it's done me good to sort of step back and just watch this stuff, watch some stuff, disseminate, and articulate properly what's coming out of it. So the information I found is there's a guy called Joe Blogs, and I got to admit, I got sucked into watching him to start with as well. And then about a month into it, I realised, hang on a minute, where did this guy come from all of a sudden, and what's he saying? And if you actually look at him, that guy is the biggest shrill out there. He is the number one shrill from YouTube being promoted by the powers that be. Going on about how Russia's going to get broke, and it's just nonsense, absolute nonsense. And that's what I mean. It was good to sit back and just watch this stuff and just go, hang on a minute. So here's the only three channels that I look at, kind of more or less. The Duran, and a big shout out to Canadian Prepper, because he literally is the only guy that, as well as Duran, that is actually giving you the bull-faced truth. He puts it on a big screen every day, well, every second day, which is kind of funny because I spoke to Nate years ago, when he was just the same as me. And it's nice to see that he's doing what he's doing, because it's actually bloody really good to watch him, and he's informative, and he tells you the bloody truth, as it should be. So do the Duran guys. They're telling the truth. The War Room I can sort of tolerate, but it's very USO egocentric. And if I could give Steve Bannon any advice, hey, mate, there's a lot of us out here that watch your show, and you need to remember that there's a lot of other people in the world, not just America. So now, and of course, USA Watchdog. I don't watch anything else now. It's pointless. It's absolutely pointless, to the point of being ridiculous. Now, one thing I have noticed over the last couple of weeks is that, or months, a lot of people did very similar to what I'm doing. And if you're wondering why that is, Bill Hunter, David Morgan, they're not as prolific as they used to be on YouTube and all these other channels. Do you know why that is, folks? Have you actually realised why that is? Do you know what we were doing when we weren't on YouTube and doing whatever? We were getting ready, which I hope is what you guys were doing, because that's what this is. Prep, Aussie, prepare, Australia, prepare the world, really, because unless you're living under a rock, and I'm going to show you some stuff in a minute, there is literally crap hitting the fan. It's so bad, right, that there's no point even showing you. I couldn't do what Nate does. That must take him hours, days to get that stuff together. He must have a full team of people doing that now, because there is literally crap everywhere. There's so much shit going on that unless you've got fingers in pies in different countries and you're talking to people on the phone, etc., getting it first-hand information, which it looks like Nate is actually, then you just can't keep up. It's impossible. I don't care who you are. So I tend to, I've noticed that a lot of these people are stepping back because everything that we said is actually coming true. It's taken a lot longer than we thought it would or was going to. But there is no doubt, folks. Look at the USA debt clock. There's just no way, right? This is how bad things are, right? And you're not going to hear this on the mainstream media from the mainstream Bloomberg or whatever shit channel you want to watch as regards to finances in America or anywhere else in the world. All these clowns in these banks that run these banks were either forced to buy American bonds to keep the bond market going, i.e. the debt going. And David Morgan and Bill Holter, and everyone's told you this. They were forced to buy these American bonds that either they were forced to buy or they bought them on their own volition. Not just one or two, they bought billions of these things. So when they bought them at zero and it's now at 5%, they are bust. Now, the two banks that went bust in America yesterday is just the start. The one that went bust yesterday, Silicon Valley Bank, did you know it is the second biggest insolvency, I think it's after Lehman's, or might have been Bear Stearns, one or two, in American history. Think about that. What happened? What? Now think about that. What happened next? Except this is like David Morgan and like Bill Holter said, and anyone else who's got any brains has been saying to you, this is 1,000 times, 100,000 times worse. Because all these banks went to the trough and ate or got forced to eat these bonds at 0%, which are now at 5%. All of them, not just one, all of them. So systemically, you're looking at a full total collapse, banking collapse. Now, if you don't have your ducks in a row, and let me get, I thought about this today, and I thought, well, how am I going to explain this to people? You know, ducks in a row, etc. Okay. Here's what I've learned over the last year when I haven't been doing YouTube, because I've got my farm going and all that sort of stuff. You need, if you think you can put in 5 stalks of corn and, feed your family, you are delusional. I've been going hell for leather trying to grow crops to keep us going, right? After 2 whole years, I'm pretty shit at it, I've got to admit. After 2 whole years of trying things, getting things right, failing, trying again, failing, getting it right, et cetera, et cetera. After 2 whole years, we ate our first self-sustained meal about a month ago. So if you haven't been doing what I've been doing, then you're in shit creek. And hey, look, I know money's bad and all that sort of shit, right? But we've actually got down to the nitty gritty of it, where we don't throw any food scraps away. I mean, we've been absolutely Amish, in all honesty, trying to get this right. And it is a full-time job. So what do you think is going to happen when these banks crash, which might be Monday? You think you're just going to wander down the store and get some food? Please, I'm begging you. I'm absolutely begging you now. Go down the shops on Monday. Go to Bunnings or wherever you got to go and buy some seeds and start planting shit in your backyard. That's how bad this is going to get. Or someone's got some land, go and plant some food there. Silicon Valley Bank went bust in an hour. And I heard a description today of some guy on the thing. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't YouTube or anything like that. But he said in 1929 it took a year for the banks to collapse. We're in a digital world now, folks. It takes an hour. So literally, you can be sitting here watching this video, your bank's going broke because people are withdrawing their funds digitally. Sorry, hard to say. So that's the point. So please, I'm begging you, don't. The time to be sitting here watching videos about, clowns like me is finished. It's now time to start building a community with your next door neighbour if you're a good friend or whatever. Plant shit in the ground. That lettuce might be the thing that saves your ass. I was going to say radish, but let's say lettuce. And I'm being dead serious. Go and buy some chickens. Right? I'm not going to get into the conspiracy shit about bird flu and all that sort of shit, right? It's all nonsense, as far as I can see. If it's so bad, sorry for yawning, had a big day. If it's so bad, why am I not walking down the street and finding dead birds everywhere? Why is nobody saying that? You seeing dead chickens everywhere? No. I'm sure there is. I'm sure it's viable, but if it's bird flu, shouldn't there be dead birds everywhere, like mass deaths of birds? Why are they making us kill chickens? It doesn't make sense. It's bullshit. Anyway, right, Ukraine. Here's my thoughts, right or wrong. Putin is a dickhead, although I can see that he tried as hard as he could to stop this from happening. And that's, if you're actually honest and you look at all the information, you have to say, was there another option? Maybe. Hundreds of thousands of people are now dead. That's nothing to what's coming, folks. Right. And here's what this is the main point of today's video. 33 trillion in debt, or 31 or 30, who cares? 30 trillion in debt. You can never pay it back. Your power overseas is being diminished daily because people are going, well, I'm not using the US money because it's shit, you're broke. See, the Chinese and Russians can't come out and say that because they're holding, China's got something like 2 trillion or 3 trillion of US debt. They can't come out and say the Americans are dead broke, because that means their $2 trillion goes down the gurgler. So all these years, they've been trying to figure out how can we, try and get back even $1 trillion. We're still going to lose $1 trillion, but we're going to get back $1 trillion. This is what they're all doing. They're trying to get out of the US system because they're going to lose their money no matter what happens. So they're all like, running down hallways, big albatrosses, Oh my God, we're going to lose $1 trillion. They're all technically broke anyway, right? Let's face reality. But the US is like, they've got a major carrot up their ass, or a pumpkin if you want to go that far. And they can't get it out, and pretty soon it's going to go boom. So this is where we're at. So, and I hate to say this, I really do, but I can only see this going one way. The US and the nut jobs running the US, which is a lot, and got no choice now but to take everyone down with them. What would you do? If you're a complete psychopath and you've got, no scruples, because they haven't. If you think they have, you're kidding yourselves. They've got no scruples. They're just going to wipe everyone out. Financially, I don't know whether it's going to be financially, militarily, whatever. They'll take everyone down with them, folks. That's why the Russians and the Saudis and that are trying to get they're getting backed into a corner by the US. They're going, please get away. Your breath stinks. We don't like you. Go away. But the Americans are just like, it's ridiculous. And there's only one way out of this now. Somewhere along the line, someone's going to snap, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Yanks. Because the Russians have got no need to cause a war because they're already in one. The Chinese don't want to start a war because they don't need to, because they own everything. Think about that. They own everything. They own all the manufacturing. They own all, most of the stuff that we need and want. Why would they want to start a war? So you're left with these, let's call them socio nut jobs, that are trying to run the world in the same parameters that they used to, and people are going, fuck off. Don't want to know, mate. And people are, yourself, you walk down the thing and everything's fine. Yay! Spend up. Yay! Going to the footy on Sunday. Yay! Delusional. Everyone's delusional. Doesn't mean you don't have to live a life and have a good time. Yeah, sure. But here's what I've been doing. My car, I've spent a shitload of money on it. New suspension, got the engine done. So if I need to drive somewhere in it, new tyres, everything's done. That's what you need to be doing. That's how bad this is going to get. That car might be the one thing that saves my ass, or our ass, our family's ass. Okay, I want to show you a couple of clown shows here, if I can find them. Hang on a second. Okay, did you know that this is how ridiculous things are getting, folks? Did you know that the Perth Mint, right, and you might not have heard anything about this on mainstream media because they are trying as hard as they can to shut this up. Right? It's not on ABC. I looked. It's not there. Couldn't find it. I couldn't find any mention of this in any mainstream media in Australia unless it came out today. The Perth Mint got busted by the China, or it didn't get just busted by China. It supplies, Perth Mint's one of the biggest gold suppliers in the world. And it got busted by all of its clients because they diddled the gold. So they gave you a bar of gold, which was supposed to be 99.99 or whatever it is, but they made a decision where they were going to just trim a little bit off that, 0.5, 0.7%. That might not sound, it doesn't sound like a lot, does it? Try $9 billion. $9 billion just to China. China wants $9 billion back. If you don't know about this story and you're an Australian and a Kiwi, this is going to have a massive impact on your life. Because a lot of these countries, China's the only one saying at the moment, we want our money back. But the others are going to definitely say that, or have said that, to the Australian government. Now, the clown show is not that these clowns decided to do this, right? They were doing it for 3 years. The CEO and everyone made a conscious decision to rip people off, right? Now, here's the clown show. What's his name? McGowan. So I'm trying to find my cursor here. So I'm not going to put the link in the description. Just type in Perth Mint dilution, right? Watch this video here of this dickhead, and he is a dickhead, right? If you ever want to see double speak from a politician who's standing there at a microphone while he's getting rammed up the backside by the Perth Mint, watch that video, because you will literally, and I mean, watch it intently, because in the space of 3 minutes, he goes, they made a conscious decision to do it. Oh, they just got it wrong. Poor people. The assayers in it. And then the guy says to him, and he went, no, they made a conscious decision to do it. Then a minute later he goes, oh, they're so sorry for their mistake. You've got to watch it. It's got to be the worst case of political speak bullshit that I've ever watched in my life. He's standing on a hot plate while he's talking. That's how big an issue this is. China wants $9 billion back. Read it. Watch it. It's all there. It's going to have a massive effect on the Australian dollar. The Australian dollar is going to go. So think about this. So while this bullshit's going on in Europe, right, and while the world economies are collapsing, COVID and everything else, these bozos decided to rip people off. Ta-da! You can't make this shit up. Clown shows. That's the first one. Right, what's the next one? Oh, that was it. Sorry, that's it. Yeah, there isn't anything else. 1 second. Okay, folks, verse of the day. Therefore, know that the Lord your God, he is God, the faithful God, who keeps covenant and mercy for 1,000 generations with those who love him and keep his commandments. And I wanted to read this because this is pertinent. Matthew 24:6. And you will hear of wars and rumours of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all those things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Think about that. And as always, folks, we'll finish off with the Lord's Prayer. Because we can. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Okay, folks. Well, that's it for today. I just thought I'd do a brief on, briefish. Wars and rumours of war, but know that it's not, the end is not yet. And I'm not a religious person, but that for some reason that context of that part of the Bible keeps coming back to me, because it's a warning, but it's also a prepared warning, if you like, because things are coming. So when you hear of the wars and the rumours of wars, that's not the time yet. So it's a warning that things are going to get worse. So get prepared, get ready, get spiritual, and get it together. All right. I hope you're all well. Love to hear from you. Like I said, don't send me any emails. Wasting your time. I don't know who's reading them. Someone's reading them, but it ain't me. Okay? Just waste your time. All right. God bless. Prep out.